do-it-yourselfers, hey, by the way, don't forget Christmas is coming up. It's not too late to get your Schrodinger's box swag just in time for the holidays. So what we're going to do today is I had a viewer send me an early Christmas present, and it is this. It is an OTC 3633, I believe. Yes, OTC 3633 test light. It is an incandescent test light that he thought would be pretty much a life changer compared to my usual, you guys all know this one, my $2.99 test light that I got from Harbor Freight Tools and have been using for probably the last 8 years or so. Well, viewer Paul Paquette had kind of said, I need to get way past that $2.99 test light and get to one that he bought for me for Christmas, and it is actually valued at about 10 times that. At first you would think, well, why do I need a $30 test light? Well, after looking at this, yeah, it definitely has some huge advantages. What we're going to do is we're going to kind of just play with this test light because I've noticed a couple differences with this and kind of looked online and just wasn't able to really see what I wanted to see as far as what I need from a test light, which is not just for testing powers and grounds, but I use it for some other applications. And what we're going to do in this video is see if it works in those applications. So Paul, thanks very much for the test light. I have no question it's going to work infallibly, but it's just very important with the type of applications that I use a test light for that are a little bit non-traditional, that I just want to, get a feeling for it so that I make sure I don't do anything like blow a PCM or come up with a false diagnosis because the test light didn't perform according to what I would expect. So we are going to do that. We'll also, if you're not familiar with test lights very much, some of you guys have seen this one in a few videos. This is my LED test light. This will certainly still be an application because LED test lights have particular special application that incandescent lights do not. But I'm pretty much guessing that this brand new test light is going to replace my little Harbor Freight one here. Just off the bat, a couple of things I really, really like that I noticed immediately. And all I've done so far is I was just curious to see what it looked like, so I connected it up to a battery and it lights up red. I initially thought it was an LED test light, which would be great, but it is not. It is an incandescent test light, but it's different. So the first thing you notice, we got the coiled cord. This is awesome. It's got to be like 10 feet, man. So this is great because that's one of the limitations I've had, especially working inside the vehicle, is I want to connect the test light to battery positive or negative and then look for powers or grounds in the vehicle. And I had to make a jumper wire. Or normally what I would do is I would connect up to a ground in the vehicle, which is easy. Or if I needed power, pin 16 in the DLC. But now I don't have to do that anymore. So this reaches all the way around the car, actually. By the way, this is not a product review or any kind of sales thing. I'm just showing off the new toy I got. It's just totally gratitude. This is not a sales presentation by any means. But the other thing that I really like about this test light, you've got this alligator clamp on here that unscrews. But what I really like, if you look at the tip of this compared to my old test light, look how it's a needle point. One of the things with this test light that you've seen me deal with for years is I've always had to put a needle point on here when I'm front probing some connectors or back probing any connector. This one, with the needle point already there, I can front probe any connector and back probe any connector without having to make modification. Just use it straight up. And we'll show that. I actually haven't tried that yet, but I can look at that and tell you I can back probe with this. So let's do this. Let's take a look at what the light looks like, because when I first did this, I thought it was an LED, and then I had to look up, do some research. It's incandescent, but it seems to have some different parameters with it than what I'm used to, and we need to feel those out. Let's go over to a car and kind of play with this for a second. All right, now as you guys know, I am not a test light guy. I just prefer using the DVOM. I admit the test light is faster and it can be easier and everything. I just like the quantitation from the DVOM, and it is strictly a personal preference thing. I've got 2 videos that show where the test light can lead you wrong and the DVOM was able to detect a voltage drop, for example, that the test light was unable to detect. But in general, I mean, you know, the test light, it's just a preference thing. A lot of people like the test light. Put that on there, you see it glows nice bright red like that. I'm hoping that that brighter light will show up better on camera because my garage is pretty brightly lit. And that actually, I think, will be pretty unmistakable. So that's pretty cool. Notice how that really does look like an LED, doesn't it? But that is indeed an incandescent bulb. As a matter of fact, I forgot. Paul also sent me the packet of 10 extra bulbs here. So that should last a lifetime. All right, one of the cool things with this needle tip is I need a place, let's just do right over here. And I can also easily reach all the way across the engine bay for this. So with my incandescent test light, let's say I wanted to do something like check for power and ground on a fuel injector. See how I can just back probe the fuel injector just with the test light right there without having to do my needle probe and everything. Hey, am I on the power or ground? I wonder. Well, we know how to test that pretty easy, I hope. You just, let's just unplug it and find out. We unplug it, we are obviously on the ground side, no question about it. If you don't understand that test, don't worry. I had a viewer ask me a question about that, and we will cover it actually in a future video very soon. But the nice thing I like about this, oh man, if I'm on the ground side, this actually brings up a thing. I wonder if we can do a ground side control test on here. The only trouble, this car is not the one to do it on because I have a really long duty cycle on this particular setup here. So we actually won't see the injector flash. Well, at least I don't think we will. Let's just try it real quick, but I don't think we're going to see the injector flash on this car. If it does, that would be an amazing bonus with this tool. I can see it flash, but you guys won't. All right, and that's just representative of the duty cycle. So I could actually kind of tell that it was flashing a little bit, but you wouldn't be able to see that on the camera, I'm pretty sure. But what else can we do here that I want to test? Oh, yes. So one of the things that's really important for me is I believe this has a lower amperage than the other incandescent test light that I have. So I want to get a DVOM now. So what we want to do here is I need to see how many milliamps this thing draws because I want to make sure that we're still in that computer safe range, and I'm sure we are. I think this actually has less milliamps than my usual incandescent test light. My usual incandescent test light I know has 250 milliamps, which is safe pretty much for most any application. Let's get this in the field of view. So I'm not worried about doing things like frying a computer or something like that too much, but there are some applications where that quarter of an amp, especially on sensitive electronics in the dashboard and instrument panel and things, yeah, you could blow those circuits because they use considerably less than a quarter of an amp. So in those, you want to use your LED test light because you've only got 50 milliamps of draw. This one, I just want to see what it's at. So we're going to put that 143.5 milliamps is what I got. That's about 100 milliamps less than my usual incandescent light. Let me just compare that just to be sure. All right, so this is my usual light, and it should be 250. Yeah, it's a lot more. It's 267 just about. So that's actually a really nice thing. Also, about the test light that Paul sent me is it's a bit safer for that incandescent application at 100 less milliamps. So I actually really like that. Now, the only thing is, one of the things that I'll use the test light for is to apply low current application into signals, and that is something I want to make sure I can still do even with that reduced amperage. Okay, so for this coil test, what I want to do is, let's position this somewhere here where we'll be able to see the spark. Actually, it should go right to there, shouldn't it? Go to the signal wire here, like that. All right, now we'll set that there. Now we should be able to cause this to spark because I believe we've got way more than enough amperage for this. Yep, we do. All right, there's another win for my new toy here. All right. Well, there's only one other test we need to do. I'm kind of afraid to do it. That is, of course, I want to see, can we do the spark jump test with this brand new test light? Oh my God. If I fry this test light, well, here's the thing. If I fried the test light, it's going to fry the bulb. I'm not even actually worried about it because I've got like 10 bulbs. Yeah, let's just go ahead and do it. I'm going to go ahead and do it. So let's set up our test light. I need a good ground. It's kind of cool with this needle point. I can just like barely touch it in there and it sticks. And let's do our spark jump test. All right, our spark jump test works. Yeah, I can guarantee you that didn't blow the light bulb. Let's go over here. Yep, we see our light still lights up just as good as ever. Yeah, this is my new test light permanently. All right, well, so far we're panning out pretty good with everything that I need from my new test light. I just want to do one more thing. I want to see if the test light is magical. I don't have any reason to believe that it would work on a 5-volt circuit, but if even a little bit this lit up on a 5-volt circuit, man, that would be like incredible. Let's just try it real quick, but I'm not expecting much here. All right, this one will be easier to front probe just because I got the connector all taped up, but I think it's this one here. Yep, there's our 5 volts there. So let's try and see if this will light the test light. All right, now we're going to try our little present here. And yeah, it does not light. Pretty sure it was that one. Yep. All right, and that's okay. I wouldn't expect it to. So here is where there's going to be a win for the LED light because I know for a fact that LED light's going to work on this. Here we're going to go to the LED light. This is going to light up, although it'll be weak, but it will light. Yeah, it lights. Make it flash. So there's a win for the LED still. So it doesn't replace the LED. All right, I'm going to screw that on there just so I don't stab myself with that really, really sharp needle tip. But yeah, I had this lit up on the 5-volt. Yeah, that would have been too good to be true. But still, hey, Paul, thanks very much for this awesome gift. I hope you enjoyed watching me do what I normally do when I get a new tool and just check that it meets the criteria that I need. Passed all the tests, and this will be the new tool that you see whenever I use the test light on Schrodinger's box. All right, so coming up, we got a couple cool videos. We've got another EVAP case coming up this weekend. I'll have that out. I've got some business travel for my real job coming up, so it'll be a couple weeks, but hoping for a really good case there. And then, and it's not like a gas cap or something. And then what else do we have? I don't know. Oh yeah, it was the unplug it test. Yes, so we're going to do a video basically covering some of the things that we just did that maybe you didn't quite follow along what I was doing. I had a viewer that asked me about the unplug it test, although a little more advanced question. And we're going to go ahead and review that and just talk about some of these electrical tests that kind of, confuse people and they get a little bit lost. Like, wait, how did you know that was the ground side when you unplugged it? We'll talk about that. So we got some cool stuff coming up, but we'll be using this as much as possible. Hey, thanks again, Paul. Thank you to everybody. Happy holidays. We'll see you next time.